Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to everybody in the chat. So great to see you there. Hello to all the members as well. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We touch on my 35 years in Scientology and leaving with 3 generations of my own family. And throughout the week, I do interviews in and around the community. So when you hit the subscribe button, you want to set the notification bell as well. So hopefully you get those notifications. And everybody who's already here, if you could do me a solid and go hit that like button, that would be helpful in getting more notifications out. Same thing if you're on the replay, no slack, and jump in there, hit the like, check your subscribe, and jump into the comments. Let me know what you think, what your questions are, because lots to talk about. Thank goodness today we have a bunch of mods here. Nancy's here helping out. We got Dip Me and Glitter and Mama Opal and Are You Jellin? That's what I see so far. So it looks like we are ready. We are ready for business. We are. And boy, is there a lot of business, right? So much happening in Los Angeles yesterday with the Salvadorian event that shut down L. Ron Hubbard Way. We are going to touch on that, look into that. We are going to talk about how, oh my gosh, did you guys hear? Did you hear that there's a family that's being reunited? There was a woman missing for 20 years, and through the live streams and the chat of the protesters, that family is being reunited. We are going to talk about that towards the end, so stick around for that. Just blew my mind. It was so awesome. NatCat180, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip. Can you tell I've been trying to work on that? It actually feels like that's really good for my shoulders, you know. Got to keep those joints loose. All right. Let's get going here. Now, over at, you ever be on, like, sometimes you're on Reddit going down a different rabbit hole and all that. And you come across, there are these channels here on YouTube that cover things that are on Reddit. And some of it's outright creepy and disturbing, as is what I'm about to share with you. This is from Let's Read, where they cover this is 39 true scary horror stories from Reddit. Now, this one is about, as you can guess, Scientology. And this woman who married a second-generation Scientologist. And the music and stuff makes it spookier. The whole story is crazy, but we are going to listen to a little clip of that. Check it out.
All this over and over until something on the auditor's end says it's all working now.
So just a little bit of backstory. At this point, she's getting Scientology auditing, right? Even though her new husband was like, no, you don't need to do Scientology. It's all cool. He didn't seem like so massively about it. Then suddenly there was a friend who needed help getting through a Scientology course. And this is what you guys may or may not know. In Scientology, when you do different training levels as part of it, you need to actually provide that auditing level to someone. So often, family members or friends of Scientologists who are doing Scientology training will rope them in for some practice Scientology auditing, because as if Scientology auditing wasn't crazy enough, let's practice it on some people before we really get it down. And that is what happened to this woman. Her husband was like, I got a friend. She needs to practice doing her Scientology auditing. Can you help her out? And it was like, can you help her out? Can you help her out? Finally, she's like, fine, I will help her out. I will help this person out. And it was like they wanted 3 hours a day from her. Of course they did. And so like they're saying in Reddit, she had to keep doing it until her needle was floating, which tells the Scientologist that they've achieved the end. But listen to what else happens. Hold on.
They acted like I made some amazing breakthroughs. I got a floating needle, and then that was it. However, I was then called over and over and over to come back. What the hell? I thought this was a one-time thing to help this chick out. Nope. They were all over me. They wanted 3-hour sessions, days in a row.
Day after day after day after day. Okay, link down below so you can listen to the whole creepy thing. Just like with all the videos we were going to touch on, I'm going to show you a little clip, a little taste, a little sample. But when you have a chance, you want to go watch them because they are awesome. All right, so now that we've kind of creeped you out a bit, let's go over to L. Ron Hubbard Way yesterday. The street was shut down and closed for an event, a Salvadorian event. And a few of the live streamers and protesters who were invited went in, interacted. From what I saw, it seems like it was cool, right? They were just like checking it out and blah, blah, blah. But that is not all that happened. Hey, everybody coming over from Maryland. Howdy. Thank you so much, Marilyn. Love a good raid. I love getting them. I love doing them. All right, so let's go look at this because what kind of like really what people are buzzing about right now is what is going on with this one image. This is from Danny from Danny's Impact here on YouTube. And check this out. There's a looks like a Sea Org member where he shares his photo. I'm like, I don't know if that's a rash, a bruise, an injury. It's just, you guys tell me. We're going to look at it. You tell me what you think in the chat. You tell me what you think in the comments, and we will maybe solve this mystery or see. GM Flower, thank you for making it rain. Scientology life after a cult membership. Thank you. Hip, hip, hooray. Now we get to see that light up in the chat. Truly, thank you so much for that. Absolutely love that. Okay, so let's look at this, and then you guys tell me. You tell me what you think is happening here.
That's not crying. It looks like she's.
I'm gonna cover the thingy. No, look at this. Does that seem like she's crying?
That does not seem like she's crying.
Does that seem like she's crying? She's the Scientologist and that came out to do the books, I guess.
You know, she came out to set up some kind of books or something for Scientology. Whew, of course, when I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, did she like get hit? And, did she get in trouble for something? This is one of my very big concerns. David Miscavige has been beating his staff for decades at this point, okay? And we know how this works, especially in Scientology. These bad behaviors, these abusive and destructive behaviors tend to roll downhill. Now, whether or not this woman had something happen to her, we don't know for sure. We only just know what we saw, right? But I thought it was a good time to bring up that point, whether she was hit or maybe it's just a rash. We don't know that for sure. But this is a growing concern that the physically abusive behaviors coming down from chairman of the board, David Miscavige himself, who has physically assaulted multiple staff members over the years. Seeing this become part of, everyday Sea organization life. It's just something that we need to be aware of. Doesn't mean that that's what happened to her. Could have been, could not have been. But I just kind of want to make that point because it made me think about that is a very real thing. Because remember, in Scientology, especially in the Sea Org, when you're handling somebody, right? You're handling that individual. L. Ron Hubbard says you need to impinge. You need to put more pressure on that person than their case can, than their reactive mind can. So however you need to do that, what that means in simple terms is that you need to overwhelm that person so bad that they cry uncle, and it's easier for them to just obey and do what you said to do. That's what impinging in Scientology is. That's what that means. So just thought would be a good point to kind of like bring that up because I think it's something we need to be aware of. So at this event, of course, you were just waiting for it, right? Like, well, when Scientology going to start their recruiting and when they're going to start talking about bringing Scientology to the Salvadorian community? It did not take long. Is this from Danny's stream too? It is. So check this out.
They're trying to introduce Scientology to El Salvador.
They're really trying to get Scientology into
You see the over here, I think those are 2 Sea Org members.
They shouldn't even be trying.
This is their public relations work. They're trying to do what's called safe pointing, where Scientology tries to position themselves with legit organizations to give themselves the appearance of being a legit organization. What they also do is Scientology will go around, right? So, like, let's say this community from El Salvador came in to do this event on the street. Scientology will work with the leaders, the head of the event, and they will show them dead agent packs. We've talked about that before on the channel, and you've heard of that across SPTV. It is a tactic, a tool from the Office of Special Affairs, from L. Ron Hubbard's dirty trick side of Scientology. Oh, so we talking about you, so you might want to wake up. Okay. So they get this information together. They get photos of the protesters, right? They put together this whole propaganda pack called a dead agent pack. And they go through it with them and go, oh, look, these people are criminals. Here's what they've done. This guy, Danny, he's been arrested multiple times, while leaving out information like he was falsely accused. All charges were like disappeared because it was complete BS in the first place. This is why Scientology wants people arrested, so they can say that they've been arrested and they can say this to organizations that they're trying to buddy with. So they get in there and try to do that. That's why there was pushback against. At first, it seemed like the El Salvadorian community, the people doing the event, were cool with them being there because they were being supportive, shouting it out on their social, and that took a turn. And it's because that is what Scientology does. This comes out with their dead agent packs, their information, to let them know what's really up. And it's just not true. But often an organization, especially one who might feel maybe they owe a little bit of a favor or debt to Scientology for lending the space. I mean, the street is public. It's not like they can charge for that. But maybe and I wasn't 100% clear if it was Scientology who got the permit or the event people had set themselves. My guess is it was Scientology. That's what it sounded like earlier, because who would want to have an event on L. Ron Hubbard Way just, if it had nothing to do with Scientology? So that is what it's up. Those are some of the tricks that the Office of Special Affairs will use to safe point and put themselves in with these people and make them see or think that the protesters and live streamers are something other than what they are. So you can go back to sleep now, Osa. I will wake you up again if there's something important I think you need to pay attention to. Just in case they watch the videos, but they're overworked, right? Probably, not getting the best nutrition. So we got to do what we can. GM Flower, thank you so much. Did I already thank you? I think I did, but I'm thanking you again for the memberships there. All right, let's take a look at, let's see. I believe this is when Danny actually gets kicked out, escorted out, asked to leave, depends on what you want to call it. Let's look at it.
This is the consulate from Salvador, and they're asking us to give you a trespass warning. So you've been, ma'am, I'm going to give you a trespass warning, okay?
But we got invitation from the consulate.
Who? Ellos dicen que tienen invitación.
Es que nos invitó ella. Nos invitó.
We got an invitation by her. She said no. Lenny, trespassing, okay? Done. You've been warned. You've been warned as well. So I suggest you go that way. Now.
What's your name?
But don't worry about
I have to know your name. If you're trespassing, if you're trespassing me, I have to know your name.
No, she doesn't have anything to say. No, because he said this lady invited her. She said this lady.
I even have the video too.
This is the consulate from Salvador, and they're asking us.
Interesting, isn't it? Because it's like before they could be there, but then they could not be there. It's like, And then the LAPD threatens Becky and LEAH tells them they'll process them if they try to come back. So this, I believe, is from LEAH, supportive LEAH from her stream. Let's take a little look at that.
Porque le estamos dando de comer a toda la gente necesitada y ya esta iglesia no les dice. ¿Cómo la ven?
Ma'am, definitely don't plan on doing that, okay? Because we don't want to have to arrest
But
you,
it's a soft closure.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
mean
not,
you just get to walk back and forth. Okay?
permit does say that it does, sir.
You know what, ma'am? If you can, then
Y todo porque
Okay.
damos de comer a la gente necesitada.
if you want to try to do that,
La
let me know,
iglesia de
and then
Scientology
we'll probably
no
end
les
up
gusta.
processing you, okay?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you because I was screaming.
Y los se pagan a la familia. What's your serial number, sir? Name? What's your serial number? 36042. Name? Name?
Someone send me it, please.
Thank you. Reyes, 3577. All right, thank you. Sure, thank you.
Of course we get the copies.
And since it's also on Facebook, it's a public event, not private.
You know, we try to be respectful. No nos quieren aquí. Porque le estamos dando de comer a
Yep. Can you believe they did that to Becky? She's just out there just doing good work. So literally Michael and literally Serge show up, and literally Michael has multiple conversations with Scientology security that were fantastic. Frankly, I've been wondering about where Scientology Sea Org security is, because you really don't see them much. Back in my day, they were just so much more out there riding around and would even greet people. It was just a different scene. Wasn't any better. They were riding around really to keep an eye, make sure no Sea Org members were running off. But at least gave the appearance, of them being around more. And we've noticed with this round of protests, there are very few of them that are out and about. You don't usually see it. Yet during this event, more of the Sea Org security people came out. And I thought it was great, because then they had an opportunity to hear firsthand some of this. And a lot of them are young, because Scientology security is not like security in other places. You might hire a security guard, and there's not a lot of pre-qualifications that go into that, right? It's not like that. Scientology security is under what's called the Hubbard Communications Office, and there are stricter qualifications that you have to meet to be part of security. Part of that is you're supposed to have a good ethics record, which means basically you haven't been out, having any fun at all. Or, doing things that you shouldn't be doing, or at least that are perceived in Scientology that you should not be doing. You can't have ever threatened or attempted to unalive yourself. You can't have family in certain positions. It's a whole thing. So it's a stricter qualification than other areas. And that's why you'll often see Scientology security being younger, because they got to get them younger as young second generation, third generation Scientologists, because let's be real, a lot of the things that would disqualify you to be in Scientology security are not that ridiculous in everyday life in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these conversations here. Let's take a look at that. Mary James, are there under the radars that have reached out to you about wanting to leave? I'm just going to say yes. We don't talk too much about that, just because some of them are under the radar and there's a reason for that. And for some of them, that's just how it needs to be right now, and they just still need support. But the simple answer is yes. All right. So Michael comes upon a Scientology security guard, a couple of them. But let's look at this one first.
Let's see what he says. How's your day going? Good. We're here if you need to get out. You ever have the desire to get out of this crazy place? We're here to help you. We have funding, we have housing. If you want to come out in the real world and live a real life and experience what life really has to offer, there's much more around this world than these blue buildings. You're so young. You've got a whole life ahead of you, guy. Always feel free to reach out to me anytime, okay? Anytime. I'm here. You see me all the time. Feel free to reach out to me.
Interesting. So interesting to me. And he had another conversation with another security guard. And these things are impactful. When you think about the people who have left Scientology, when they escape Scientology, especially Sea Org members, they do reach out to people who at one point they consider to be suppressive, right? And against them when they were in Scientology. They do reach out to those people often when they leave and go, hey, I just took off. I just left. I need help. Case in point, Mike Rinder, even if you're familiar with his story, if you've heard him tell it or you read his book, his escape and the people who he reached out to who helped him. So I love that Michael is doing this because you never know when they're going to take you up on it. And he had a similar conversation with another Scientology security guard that was out there.
How's your day going? You having a good event today? I just want to say, if you ever want to get out of this committee, this crazy cult that you're in, we're here to help you. We'll do everything for you. We'll set you up with a place to live. We'll help you find a job, a new life. If you have a wife, or if you've ever dreamt about having a real wife that you select and not they select for you, we're here for you. We have several organizations that will help you in a second. So if you ever want out, just reach out to me. I'm always here, okay? Just so you know, you're young. There's a whole world out there. Think about the dreams that you really want to live. Wow, you see? There's my other little guy right there.
Yep, Scientology had their Truth About Drugs set up, their front groups all set up. So whatever their role was in providing this space for the Salvadorian community, it completely is with the intention of infiltrating that community, of further trying to infiltrate that country and get Scientology in there. Let's be real. We know that that's what they're doing. And yeah, Brenda, I agree completely. Michael did an excellent job planting seeds, and planting seeds like that. It works. It's valuable. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Pippi Longstockings, Michael is such a great man. Yes. I love him and Serge together. I really do. Let's take a look at, this is when I think Michael gets told that he needs to leave, because here's the deal. Remember, Scientology Security Office of Special Affairs, whatever it is, right? So wake up again. Got to tell you something. So, or I'm talking about you. You might want to hear it. So they're watching a lot of the different live streams. So they know that the protesters and live streamers were out there having conversations, if nothing else, with the Scientologists, not really interfering with what the Salvadorian community was doing, having conversations, planting these seeds with security. Security themselves are going to report it right after it's said to them. And then they're going to be handled. They're going to be checked later. They're checked regularly to make sure they're still just totally, towing the line, doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that is why I think they then ended being, like, you got to get out of there, because they were spreading the word, showing the front groups, right? Showing the Foundation for a Drug-Free World scam, all that stuff, all that good stuff. Okay, so you can go back to sleep for now. Just out there getting the word out, sharing the truth. So let's take a look at this, because this is when I think Michael's, I think this is when it came to an end for him there.
Your name again? Celine. I'm just going to go by Celine. Okay, Celine. Michael. Okay. Nice meeting you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Hey, Michael.
No, it's okay. We can talk right here. No, embarrass me for what?
So I guess the organizer is deemed that you're uninvited.
No, I've been invited by many people. Just like this. No, it's like right here. What? No, it was on TikTok. It says all is welcome. So tell me how that is a private event.
I think it's because, I think it's just to clarify. I didn't monitor TikTok.
Well, you should monitor TikTok before you approach me, because it is on TikTok and it says all that is welcome. Please come down, support our committee. Did you not post on TikTok saying please support? Yes. See right there. There's your answer. There's your answer. So don't worry about embarrassing me. You just embarrassed yourself. I'm sorry. But no. You've invited the whole committee. Your name again? Celine. I'm just going to go.
Yeah. Love that. He gets him to admit, you put the call out on TikTok. You said this is a public event. Is it a public event or is it not a public event? I really think that that community would have been fine with the protesters and live streamers being there. We know this. But because they were in there calling out Scientology's involvement, calling out that Scientology was turning in this to a recruitment event, and the protesters and live streamers were pissing all over it. Not literally, of course, but you know what I mean? It's like they were raining on their parade. And I'm glad that they did, because that is what they were doing. This is a failed attempt by Scientology to create legitimacy with other organizations that are actually doing things. So go, Michael. Good for you. Good for you. So let's see. Oh, we got another one from Michael's stream. He was just on fire yesterday. Let's check this out. This is, I believe, after he's escorted out.
Not trespassing. So tell me, how can I be trespassing?
It's basically a hard closure for this event. If you weren't invited,
I was invited.
that story's been used by every one of those individuals.
Right. So you need to look at
So
it.
that-
Have you
that
looked at
invite was
TikTok?
rescinded. So
No,
that's what we know.
I know. So it's not right. It's incorrect. It's incorrect.
Please.
It's incorrect.
I hear you. Okay, but if it's on TikTok, can you show us? Did you talk to the council members?
No, they said, we're having this incredible event on L. Ron Hubbard Way today. Come down and support all our vendors. We need your support. The public's invited. We want you here. I've actually made 2 contacts already that I'm going to help them with their companies and their businesses here in Los Angeles, in the city of Los Angeles. I'm doing something different than this company here is doing.
Yeah. Could you show us? It almost sounded like he was like, just show us something we can use. Show us something we can use and take back here. But yeah, it was on TikTok. The person already admitted that. It's just ridiculous. And here's the thing, Scientology, they're really good at bullying and getting people to do things. They're good at this, especially when you take an organization who's there trying to do something good, right? They're probably not going to push back as hard on Scientology, and Scientology can be very convincing. And that's why they like to put themselves in position of being the authority. L. Ron Hubbard always said that they are Scientology. They are the authority on the mind. I can't even say that without laughing anymore. The authority on mind control. I would probably say that. Yeah, you got that cult thing down. You really do. You really do. So Eric Rader says, I had no invite and I walked every inch of it. That's right. Because it was a public event that should have been open to the public. All right. Now, did you guys catch? I know you guys have been watching JDSA's stream, and I have just loved watching Deanna. What's Deanna's husband's name? Chuck and Deanna, who came from, I believe, from Reno. We highlighted them yesterday. They came down. Deanna is a second-generation Scientologist. We're talking you got to go in the Wayback Machine. She worked with Janice Grady, who is someone who worked directly with L. Ron Hubbard. She did things under the supervision of L. Ron Hubbard, and she shares a story about that in a clip that we're going to share. They're out there doing it. They are bringing it, and I'm telling you, these people are like my new spirit animal. It's just, they get me so excited, and I'm watching with the passion. And Chuck is going to be 80 years old. That is the other thing I love about this community. Different ages, right? Just all over the place. People from all kinds of different backgrounds coming together to raise awareness that Scientology is a human trafficking cult. So let's take a look at this. Chuck was just doing his thing, living his best life out there. This is on Jay's stream.
Yeah, beep, beep. Thank you.
One barricade at a time. You see it over there? One I would love a honk, people.
Come on, beep, beep.
Beep, beep. Oh, beep.
The sign doesn't say wave or give me the peace sign. It says beep, honk.
Beep, a honk.
Yeah. Uh-oh, let's see. These are probably...
Look how he goes running. He gets so excited when he sees the van. to go give them a shout. I just love it. I love that they're out there with Jay. I feel like this is just right. Just a great combo. I just love it. And there's more to come on these two as well. So let's look at, this is also from Jay's stream, and it was from more protesting during the day with Chuck and Deanna as well, who showed up. I mean, they came down and said, hey, this is what we're here to do. We want to protest. This is who we are. This is our names. Heck yes, put us on camera. And Deanna as well, like I was saying, is an ex-Sea Org member. So the motto in the Sea Org is, we come back. And I do find that to be true. We do. We come back and we protest Scientology. We come back after realizing that it's a cult and a human trafficking organization as well. So we come back to raise awareness about that. We come back after we've done some healing and realize that so much of this is just, let's be honest, batshit crazy. So yeah, we come back, they came back, and I love this. Check it out.
I'll stop talking for a few moments so y'all can get some perspective on whether or not y'all are able to hear their crappy ass music. Okay. We have Deanna Ross and Chuck Ross out here with us. Deanna Ross is a former org, and she's been spreading love. She's been sharing her story. Yeah. How's the music? Are y'all able to hear their crappy ass music? Can y'all please let me know, chat?
I just love it. I love it so much. I love seeing them out there. I love the energy that they're bringing. And if that wasn't good enough, they're out there with Jay, and the German film crew was still around. And there's this guy who comes up. Let me see if this is that clip. Yes. There's a guy who comes up and is asking questions of the protesters, and Jay ends up speaking to him. And I'm pretty sure it's Deanna, but she's blocked by his other camera, who shares her story. If I'm wrong about that, please tell me in the chat or tell me in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. I'm pretty sure it's Deanna who's sharing her story of SA and what happened with this guy who turns out is hired by Scientology to sing at their different events, who knows nothing about Scientology, doesn't know anything about it. Saw the protesters, walked over, what's up, what's up? Jay talked to him, and then Deanna shared this story that just floored me. So I don't know if you guys caught it, but just, okay, so people are saying, yes, it was Deanna. Oh, broke my heart. And again, when Deanna was in the Sea organization, L. Ron Hubbard was running Scientology still, okay? So this isn't like, oh, David Miscavige took over and it all went to crap. He made it worse. He put a sadistic twist on a lot of it, but he's following in the footsteps of L. Ron Hubbard. Oh, you guys got to see this. You got to see this. You'll see the film crew, the German film crew's there. This over here is the gentleman who is later, he identifies himself as a singer hired by Scientology for multiple events. And Deanna shares her story.
Oh, wow. That's abusive. At 12 years old?
Sexually abused at 12 years old by a man
That was a part of
Scientology, and he during their touches, right?
Yeah.
During their touches, it's feel my finger. It became very sexual. I was 12 years old. The man was 27. Yeah, and it was under the watchful eye of L. Ron Hubbard. It never got out because you're not allowed to call anyone bad in Scientology.
So this was, keep in mind, I don't know Deanna's exact age, but how long ago this was, and that it's still going on. That is the part that really got me. And I thought it was just so brave and open of her to share this. And that it went on from the ages of 12 to 15 under the watchful eye of L. Ron Hubbard, which she shares. There's a little bit more to it.
Right? That was a criminal act. And you're not allowed to sue or take anyone to the police in that bubble of Scientology. So my sexual abuse continued until I was 15 by the same man.
Oh, wow. That's abusive. At 12 years old?
Sexually abused at 12 years old.
So he's asking questions. There were some follow-up questions. We're going to look at a little bit of a clip right afterwards too, where he then identifies himself as far as who he is and what he's doing there. So let's take a look at that. This one doesn't allow for closed captions. I've been trying to remember. Thank you to someone who told me you could do that. I could turn on the closed caption. So I'm going to do that when I can on clips, but some it's telling me I can't, like this one here, but the volume's up about as much as we can go here.
What's your opinion? No, I didn't know that.
So the German film crew, right? After they hear this, they hear Deanna share her story of what happened to her from the ages of 12 to 15 under the watchful eye of L. Ron Hubbard. And this guy said he knew nothing about Scientology. And now the German film crew's like, okay, so you heard that. What do you think now? What do you think about it now?
If she was sexually abused, that's not cool. That's not good.
Was it a church?
Yes, I belong to a church. Yes.
I was just wondering. You see you have an event.
I'm a Christian. I'm just singing. I was just hired to sing for an event that they're doing.
So you didn't have any information about Scientology. You didn't know something about them.
I don't know anything about Scientology. I just do events for them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm curious.
Do some research.
Are you aware that their cross is not a Christian cross? They emphatically do not believe in Jesus Christ or the God of the Jews or the Christians. They do not believe in any supreme being, and that is just so they can look more like a church for tax purposes. I find that rather offensive.
It is definitely offensive.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Are these guys with you too?
No, we just wanted to interview.
Just interesting. So interesting. It just blew me away. That whole like part of the live stream. I just could not believe what I was watching. And many of your comments, that's true. It is completely so much of why we are here. And it really speaks to how long this has been going on. And if anyone tries to tell you different, like, oh, it's Miscavige, oh, it's L. Ron Hubbard, it's many of them, right? And it wasn't like L. Ron Hubbard, you know, there are people, I'm saying there are individuals who committed these acts. Where's the guy? I mean, maybe he's not even alive now. When she was 12, he was 27. This went on for 3 years. Where's he now? Where are these perpetrators that did it? That is the big question. What she's talking about happened a long time ago. The more to what helps is elevating the voices of these victims of Scientology, but also especially with newer ones. Like, I'm just blown away by Deanna and Chuck that they came out and they're protesting now and they're doing this. I absolutely love that. And I'm just so impressed by that. And we just got to keep raising awareness about it and getting the word out. Now, Literally Surge was there with Michael, and we're going to look at a clip from his video where he makes a really good point, and again, about a Sea Org security guard who's there, and he brings up a valid point about human trafficking. So let's watch it, and then let's talk about this.
One of the signs of trafficking is that you look like you are okay being trafficked. So as much as he looks happy right now, pretending he's saving a world, he's not saving anything, and he's being taken advantage of. And the LAPD officers who make six-figure salaries next to him pretend that they're on the same level. Oh yeah, you must like getting paid $40 a week and having a contract where you're going to be owned for the rest of your life. Imagine not even the LAPD has those type of contracts. Imagine the LAPD has to pay these men sitting next to him that are making a lot more dollars than the child.
That's so true. And I couldn't help but notice, and I do this too. I will, when I'm standing there, I rock back and forth. I find it comfortable, like comfortabling. I'm just going to make up words now. And the fact that he's doing that is not, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it in general. Like I said, I'll do it if I'm standing there at times. It's just, you know, I know there's a word for it, but it's not coming to me right now. But, you know, like, what was he nervous? Like what is the deal? And when you think about, that's right. Self-soothing, zippy. Thank you very much. Yes. And as soon as I saw him doing it, I'm like, oh, I do that. Like, and I know I do it. Like if I'm standing, right, and I'm chatting with people, like I just got to rock back and forth. And yeah, it just made me question. It caught my eye. And again, when you think about what Serge says, and you put this in the context of these officers who are, you know, with their overtime are doing 6-figure incomes, and this young man who is not going to be allowed to have children, who, you know, we don't know. I don't know his background. Serge might know. It sounded like he knew his name. I mean, and he's got his entire life ahead of him. And this is an example of somebody else in Scientology, in security, who they have their whole lives ahead of them. And we're going to see more. And makes me wonder, is that why we're not seeing a lot of security, except for public events like this? Then they come out. Is it because they are so much younger? I just don't know. I just don't know. But Serge makes some excellent points there, as he usually does. Now, this crew that has been going out, the German film crew, has been out there for a couple of days, interviewing people, following people around. And we highlighted a clip where they were talking to DOA outside La Poubelle the other night. And we're going to highlight another clip from Utology. You guys know Utology. Utology puts together these recaps of different things, often in a very fun way, really condenses it down. And this is a clip from that conversation when it was going on. And it's funny because William Good just cannot stop laughing. And it was hilarious. And Jessica Palmadessa has just a great way of bringing some levity. And you hear Streets LA William Good say, like, I needed that. I needed that laugh. And I think that Jessica Palmadessa, Confident Chris, and so many others do a good job of bringing that levity and making it, you know, just bringing the fun, because this is a difficult thing to talk about and to share and to work through. Let's take a look at this.
DOA started La Poubelle. The look on their face.
Like, he's the leader of this whole thing. He comes running out with a cape, knocks over a phone, no shoes on. It's crazy. The band things, watching that.
I can't stop laughing. Oh my God. Oh, I needed this. Oh, this is the exact opposite of like UCLA. There was nothing funny over there.
This is literally more of a comedy show.
Oh my God.
He's literally crying. Look at his eyes.
It was just so funny. And that's kind of the great thing. A lot of why with DOA and his different costumes and characters brings, you know, it grabs attention. And to have him just run out of there like, you know, Fred Flintstone out of there, no shoes on with the cape and the crown, as he showed up multiple times going ahead and protesting. You do wonder what's going through the minds of the German film crew. Just loved it. And I love that, you know, I agree, Jeanette. His laugh is so precious. It is good. It is good to laugh. And that was funny. All right, let's take a look at, did you guys see that Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology is in Montreal? You turn around for just a moment and boom, there he is in another country. He was out there protesting outside of Montreal Scientology. Let's take a little look at that.
Thank you. Are you a Scientologist, sir?
Of course I am.
Oh, you are? What?
No.
Oh, good. Thank God. But if you want to join the cult, just come back anytime. I grew up in Scientology. Okay. Which video have you seen?
For me, I used to live in London, so for me, the
That was like one of the attractions was to go and watch the videos. I used to bring friends to
Are you serious?
make fun of the video because it was ridiculous.
Oh, that's amazing. So you saw the video in London?
I sort of, but that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, okay,
I
okay.
changed it. It was the video with like Tom Cruise and what's his name? The
David Miscavige or
no, but
the leader?
disco guy.
Oh, John Travolta.
John Travolta, like saying like, oh, if you don't join, it's like jumping from a cliff. Or whatever.
Oh, the orientation video. Yes. Yes, that's amazing. Well, thank you.
Love that. Just love running when people out there are live streaming, running into people who just like know what the deal is. I always think it's so interesting to get their point of view on it and know like, okay, what's up here? Hey, Becky, good to see you. I see Abraham jumped in too. Farrell, Cheryl. Oh, that's right. We said hi earlier to Eric. Good to see you all. Corn, good to see you again. Okay, so let's look at, let's go to Chicago. Let's talk about some of the stuff that Windy City Thetan Watch has been finding out there. There was a wedding going on, which they tried to throw him off. They put out a date, then they changed the date, but he was on it and caught some of those wedding guests going inside to Scientology Chicago, and he had some questions for them.
Did you know women can't report crimes against them if they're committed by a member of this church?
I did know that, actually.
Why are you in there supporting them?
I'm here for a wedding.
Yeah. And they're the founder, Joe Sakala, almost every staff member here works for that organization.
Okay.
So they're supporting this. You think it's a good No, I'm not going to stop recording you.
Well, I don't give you the...
Yep. The right in public to give me permission for anything. But yes, you are on film, and it will be shown that you are supporting a human trafficking cult.
Here's the interesting thing about this too. One, of course, that, she acknowledges that she does know that you can't report these things in Scientology. And I don't know if she's a wedding guest and was her way of saying like, oh yeah, no, I know, as in I know, but I'm here for a wedding, or her way of, or she was saying, I know, and I'm totally cool with it. I can't imagine that she would be. But what's most interesting to me about this is the fact that, and you're going to hear more and more about this. I think you've probably heard some about it if you've listened to even Shannon, who's also in Chicago Scientology Audit, has done some videos on it, done some conversations about it. This connection between Chicago Scientology and this business company known as the Dream Exchange, and the people running Chicago Scientology also running this company, and many people working at the company working for Chicago Scientology. Many people working for Scientology Chicago working for this company. When you get into a situation like that, this is really where you can get into some serious human trafficking. The manipulation in Scientology, if you don't follow Scientology rules, guess what? And you're working for a Scientologist, you're going to find yourself without a job. You're going to find yourself potentially fair gamed in your own industry, depending on what you do. So this is something that I know some other people are doing a deeper dive into, and it's something I know that we're going to share more of moving forward. And I'm glad that he caught that and he's pointing out some of these things as well. So let's take another look at a clip from Windy City Thetan while this wedding was getting set up there in Chicago.
The day till.
Oh, actually, this one's from Juanita. Juanita gave him a captain's hat. This was so cute.
Next week, but let's say it might be trickery. Oh, I love it.
And thank you, Juanita, for wearing the My Tony Tough shirt too. I love that.
That is awesome.
Right.
So Juanita
Yes. I thought you wanted to make me too.
has found me a captain's hat. This is good because I think it's going to be sunny out here today, and I do need better protection. The day till next week, but let's
love that Wendy's got he needs a hat like that. That's fantastic. So take a look at what happened when Windy City Thetan Watch came across Scientology recruiters, but this time with a twist. They were pretending to be promoting human rights, which is always just so hilarious. It just cracks me up because it's like, really, human rights? Let's talk about some human right violations in Scientology. Oh, I don't know, sleep deprivation, locking people in rooms, forcing disconnection, not letting people see their family or spouses for years on end, actual physical abuse, depriving people of sleep and food, nutrition, medical care, SAed happening and being covered up, physical abuse, emotional abuse. We can go on and on and on. So it's always very ironic when Scientology is out there recruiting, pretending to be advocates for human rights. It's funny and sickening at the same time, but Windy City Thetan finds it and he busts them.
So it's human rights. They're pretending to be human rights today. You're on a public sidewalk. 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 You have a First Amendment right to pass out your propaganda. I have a First Amendment right to inform the public of the corrupt cult that you're involved in. Your words mean nothing, ma'am. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police.
First off, she's there, doing her thing. She's a Scientologist. Of course, she's pissed off of this and she's not going to like it. But look at the guy who's handing out with her. He's not even turning around and even trying to help her. What happened to never desert a comrade in need, which is part of the code of honor in Scientology? This guy just keeps looking forward while she's the only one saying anything about it. It just shows you the level of lack of confront, and he's calling her out on it. And I think he did it in a really good way too. He was very polite. He keeps his distance as well and lets them know what's what. He is not making it easy for them to recruit in Chicago. And I think that's fantastic because I think Chicago is a key location. I have said this from the beginning. There's something else about Chicago. There's more to it than it seems. Scientology they always do shady stuff, let's be real. But it's been concentrated in Chicago in ways that there's something more there, and we're just going to continue exposing it. Windy City was also out there, where they were handing out their Dianetics flyers, and he did a great job letting people know what the deal really was, what these were for, and I do believe he even got them back.
It's Scientology. It's the cult of Scientology. They're a human trafficking cult. You don't want those. Can I have that? Thank you so much.
Look at that. For the win, for the win. He's just keeping his distance. Scientology does get to hand out their propaganda, but he has every right to go and talk to people about it and go ahead and collect it as well if that's what they want. Windy City says, I'm going to wallpaper my basement with these flyers. Hold on to them, because Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology has been looking for a large quantity of Scientology promo propaganda pieces to hand out in front of a Scientology organization to try and help them get their statistics up. Which that reminds me, any of my friends here who are out there protesting, it was in the comments or it was an email, you'll have to forgive me because I get a lot of communication in different ways and don't always have it straight where it came from. But somebody brought up a really good point that would be, I think, fun and interesting. Scientology right now is trying to paint a narrative that there's hate speech being written in chalk in front of different Scientology organizations. Why not write just quotes from L. Ron Hubbard? Quote L. Ron Hubbard. Because it's L. Ron Hubbard's quotes that are really, honestly, their downfall, right? Get a copy of Dianetics or look it up online, Google it, don't even spend the money, and share some of the quotes directly from L. Ron Hubbard on what he says about homosexuals, what he says. Oh, here'd be a good one. Look up what L. Ron Hubbard actually says about abortion and ending pregnancies, what he actually believes about it, and write that on a sidewalk. The Sea Org will get rid of that very quickly, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but he was not pro it. And he said the opposite. And he said some very harmful, he had his opinion on it. But the point is, in the Sea Organization, later on in 86, 87, whatever it was, they changed the rule about not having children there, which they shouldn't. They never should have had children there in the Sea Org. They were horrifically neglected and abused. And many of those children did not make it out. Or they made it out, but did not make it through adulthood because of what happened to them. Write those things. Because when you find, in fact, if somebody wants to do a deep dive or keep track or create a shared Google Doc, some way, somehow, of good quotes to write in chalk, that are quotes by LRH. And what are they going to do? Erase it? It's quotes by your own founder. Your own founder said this. There are quotes about Scientology not doing fundraising. Write that in front of Austin. They will lose their minds. These are things that, like, how are you going to say it's hate speech when it's quotes by L. Ron Hubbard from your own doctrine? Let them hang themselves with it. What are they going to do? I'd like to find out. I'd like to see. And it's not my idea, Joanna. Somebody emailed it to me. I'm pretty sure it was email. But I thought it was a brilliant idea. It is. Write L. Ron Hubbard quotes. It's not hate speech. How can you twist it to be? It's what L. Ron Hubbard said. Write it word for word. But we do need to, and we can make it easy for people. Like I said, if somebody's got a little bit of time, maybe you don't need to be an ex-Scientologist. That might just be easier. But many of you know a ton about Scientology who've never been in, and you know where these references are. You know what they are. And we can find them and write those, because I think that is like going to be absolutely amazing. So send me clips, send me links. If you need help with those quotes, Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com, lifeafteroccult.com. Yes. Send me timestamps, right? If you go ahead and you do this. But just with bandwidth, it would be easier and helpful if somebody else could create a central location for some of the quotes that protesters can write that are by L. Ron Hubbard. Start with The Way to Happiness. Honor and obey your parents. Honor and obey your parents. That's out of The Way to Happiness. Obey the laws of the land. That is out of The Way to Happiness. What are they going to say? You're writing L. Ron. Anyways, I'm going on and on. You guys get the point. I think we need to do this. Hey, did I see Mike Brown's here? Hey, Mike. Mike is going live, and I want to see this video. I think you guys are going to want to too. So let's get to it. Let's get through these last couple of videos here. Windy City, speaking of Dream Exchange and that whole connection to Scientology. You work for Scientology. You work for Scientology. Like, what is up with that? That doesn't just reek of some level of human trafficking. He catches, spots one of them sneaking in the side door.
Father of the groom, Sakala Senior, not Senior, Junior. So that there is Joe Sakala, the founder of Dream Exchange. Yeah, you recognize the name, huh?
Yep, it was. All right, let's see. I want to get to this to make sure we cover it. Let's talk about the missing woman who is being reunited with her family thanks to people protesting Scientology, thanks to the chat. This is from Mindy Williams' live stream. Let's take a look and talk about this.
Stop, read the chat? What's going on? Mindy, stop, read the chat. Mindy, stop, read the chat. What's going on? I'm going to walk you to your thing. It's already here. Is it here? This is it? Here, yeah. This is it? Okay. Whoa, they said, the lady that came up to Daniel and Mindy asked for help with something. They didn't understand what she said. What? Mindy, read the chat. Mindy, the lady with the shopping cart is the twin sister of the mom of the lady in Daniel's chat that's been missing over 20 years? Oh my God, really? What? Go back to that woman. I'm going to go to the woman. Okay. The Hispanic woman, Dan? I'm going to go back to the woman. You guys stay with me. Okay. Are you fine? Yeah, okay, yeah. Cool. It's great to see you. Anytime you're in this area, reach out to me. I'm happy to walk around with you. I love this. Bye. She's probably way gone now. We've been gone for a long time. 217. Okay, she comes here. I'm going to the lady.
We're just going to mute that because I'm not sure about the music. So she had asked the street vendor and used the chat to help translate to find out if she knew where the woman went. And she had left in an Uber. She had taken off in an Uber. Oops. Oh my goodness. What is this? Hold on. Hold on. I messed this up. But we almost got to the end of it. So hold on. Let's see. I got it linked down below. So what ends up happening is then her family's in the chat and they end up connecting with the woman. 20 years she's been missing, and she spends hours on the phone with her family, and they are going to connect. So I need to get in touch with Mindy, and I think maybe we do a follow-up and find out from Mindy like what went down. Is Mindy's not here, is she? I don't think she's here. It's really early still. Well, I guess it's 9 on the West Coast now. But yes, we need to talk more about that because I thought that was so interesting. We talk all the time about how much the chat does. The chat does a ton, does an absolutely a lot. And this was a great example of that. Like, this family has been reunited. They've been looking for her for 20 years, and she's seen on a video in a live stream, and they're in the chat. Oh, just incredible the way that different streamers came together with the chat as well and found her. It was amazing, amazing. And I want to hear more about that. So I hope to talk to Mindy soon and we can chat about it and we can share an update with you guys. Now, one thing I know, I want to get over to Mike Brown's channel, but I want to share, there was an amazing message that Liz Ferris shared, and it's from a video that she just did. And she was started off talking about Selfless Self and how his vehicle was stolen. I don't know if you guys know this. Selfless Self had his car stolen in Austin. So that sucks right there. I don't know if there's been an update, if it's been found or anything, but Liz was talking about this and in relation to that. But I had just sat down for window time, which is like when I just decompress. And I had my earbud in, and I just so happened to pop in it at this exact moment when she said this. And I felt so much like I needed to hear this that I wanted to share it with you guys as well.
He was a traveling protester, you know, and right now he can't travel, but at the same time, you know, things have a way of working out. You'd be amazed, guys. Things have a way of working out just how they're supposed to be. I like to say that saying, you know, whatever time you get here is the time you're meant to be here. Well, if something happens, whatever you went through, it was the time you were meant to go through it. And then at the time that you were meant to go through it, you were meant to survive it. So at that point, we go through things when we don't want to. And sometimes we're thrown, you know, it's like that old saying, God only gives you what you can handle. Well, obviously, God thinks I'm Hercules. But at the same time, we all handle it. We all get through it, even though it's overwhelming. And even though there's times that it's extremely rough. I believe that there's perseverance in this. I believe something good will happen out of this. I absolutely believe it. He was a traveling protester, you know, and right now
it's just Liz's positivity just amazes me at times. And if you were familiar with her story, if you're not, check out her channel, Liz Ferris. I did an interview with her some time ago. It's in my channel under the live videos. And when you hear her whole story and you understand what she experienced as a child, as a teen into adulthood, you just will be even more blown away by the level of love that she has in her heart for other people and these positive messages that just come out of her. And often when I think many of us need to hear them. So here's what we're going to do. If you guys are so inclined, I want you to go check out Mike Brown's channel. If she didn't already, Nancy's going to send a link in the chat to that. And he is doing a video. Old friends have a chat about growing up in the Sea Org. And I think it's a great opportunity to learn more about what that was like growing up in the Sea Org. And I'd love to just go over and raid the heck out of Mike. Show him lots of love, because I know I did a couple of interviews with Mike and he's learning to accept like love and appreciation. So I love sending it over to him. Mike's such a great guy. His story with his mother, Rosemary, and what he's done to elevate her voice as a victim of Scientology elder abuse, a victim of Scientology financial abuse. What they did with her was outright criminal. And he's sitting down with Sterling and Jenny, and they're going to talk about growing up in the Sea Org. And I'm going to be going over, I'm going to be watching it. So hopefully you guys are. Let's go raid and love on Mike Brown and Sterling and Jenny, because sharing those stories, it's necessary, but it's also difficult at times to do. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's okay. But I know it helps me to have the support of my friends when I'm sharing and doing that. So I think let's do that as well and be for them. If you can head over there to Mike Brown's channel, rate him and show him love. I'd appreciate it. Love all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I just cannot continue to say that enough. I hope you guys all get out and have the most amazing cult-free day.